today and prepare you for tomorrow. Clear, concise, unbiased reporting. Every resource focused to deliver only the best. KMBC 9 News at 10. Coverage you can count on from the team you trust.
A season of high expectations.
A winning record and to win the division.
Quickly slipping away.
These guys didn't look like they even cared today.
With fan anger growing. The Chiefs roll into Pittsburgh to face a resurging Steelers team and a familiar face. Can the Chiefs steal a win in the Steel City and restore order within the Chiefs' kingdom?
Ladies and gentlemen, let that fuel the fire within. Chiefs and Steelers getting set for Monday Night Football here on a cold, damp, dreary night in Pittsburgh, PA. The Chiefs come into this game needing a spark. They'll have to do it with 40-mile-per-hour winds as one component to deal with. The other will be devising a game plan to come up with some success against the former head chief, being Todd Haley, who now runs the prolific offense of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Welcome, everybody. I'm Johnny Kane here live inside. Welcome back to Pittsburgh. Scott Pioli has endured as much criticism as any general manager in football this year. He doesn't shy away from taking responsibility for the Chiefs' 1-7 start. He opened up to our Len Dawson.
Before the season, great expectations for this football team, and in your opinion, what went wrong?
You know, I think the off-season is always a funny time, and I know some people refer to me as a wet blanket during the off-season because I agree that we look good on paper, and I'm always that guy who's cautiously optimistic, and I think when you put together a team and you look at things on paper and you start making predictions or projections of how good a team is going to be, the bottom line is you got to go out on Sundays and play the games. It doesn't matter how much talent you assemble, that team still has to come together. The talent has to come together. They have to have cohesiveness. There has to be chemistry. And then they got to go out and play games and execute. And at this point, I mean, we're at the midway point of the season. And I don't think there's anybody within the organization, outside the organization, that thought we would be at 1-7. I mean, you and I have talked about that. And, you know, I don't think anyone ever expected that, but that's where we are.
3 weeks ago, you said you were still confident in Romeo Crennel as the day you hired him. They're 1-7 right now. You still feel the same way?
I'm still as confident in Romeo as the day I hired him. I really am. And again, I watch this. I see the things that people don't see. I see how hard this coaching staff is working. I see how hard the players are working. And then what it has to do is that work has to manifest itself on Sundays, and it's not. Now, I don't think that that's coaching. I think, you know, that there's things that have to be done out there, and people have to take responsibility for what's going on. And I've said this before, Len, and you and I have talked on the record, off the record. And, you know, it starts with me, because if some of these things aren't going right, every single one of us has a hand in it.
Have you ever? I've never experienced a team that has given the football away as much as this team has now. Have you?
Never. I've never been a part of anything or seen anything like this.
You know, fans say, okay, make a change, make a change. How difficult is it, like you had to do last year?
You hate to make those changes, and again, because it's never one person. Again, it's a team game, and the team is not just the players in the locker room. This is a group of a lot of people. It's the same thing with success. You know, I have a saying that someone told me a long time ago, and it goes back to President Kennedy, that success has many fathers and failure is an orphan. And I like to see things the other way, and when there's great success, it has to do with a lot of people, and when there's great failure, it has to do with a lot of people, and all of us have to take some responsibility, and that's where we're at right now.
This is your 4th year with the organization. How would you evaluate your progress?
Well, there's only one way to evaluate progress, or evaluate where you're at, and that's with your record. Right now, we're 1-7, so I'm 1-7.
The fans, how are you going to get their trust back?
By winning. winning. You know, like you've seen it. I know some of our private conversations. You told me about the struggles that you went through as a player, that you went through as a part of some teams, and you know, the only thing that cures any of the ills in this business is winning. When you win a lot of games, you're really smart or you're really good. But the truth is, you know, when there's times of great success, you're never as smart as they say. You're never as good as they say. That goes for the general manager, the head coach, the assistant coaching staff, the video people, the players. But when there's failure, you're also not as dumb as they say. You're not as bad as they say. And so we hit both ends of the spectrum, and we're all pretty much in the middle, and you have good days and bad days. And you just, the only way to take care of this is winning football games, and that's the only thing that takes care of this.
So how can Pioli himself help turn this season around? And where does he see himself in 5 years? He'll answer those questions straight ahead. Plus, this Kansas City Chiefs team has some proud K-State alums. Our Karen Kornacki sits down with them to talk.
I don't know if you can disagree with the chairman of the board, but do you ever disagree? Have any disagreements, the two of you?
Oh, I think everyone has disagreements, and I know he disagrees with me on some things, but that's healthy. I mean, I believe in disagreement, because I think if you get too many, you want people who are like-minded but don't have all of the same answers, because disagreement is the only way that you grow. If you have everybody's thinking the same and everything's okay and you're always singing Kumbaya, I think you're headed for disaster.
What can you do to salvage this season?
I think the same thing we all keep doing. Keep trying to find ways to make things better and to make things right. And when I say make things better, I'm not talking about happiness and holding hands. I'm talking about finding ways to win games, to correct the problems that we have. And like I said, Len, you know, I understand I'm not carrying the ball on Sundays, and Romeo isn't, and the other coaches aren't. But if we all do our jobs better, all of us, that's the only way we're going to get better.
Next game is going to be a Monday night game in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where Todd Haley is the offensive coordinator. First of all, have you ever talked to him since he was fired? Yeah,
we've seen one another, and you know, this is the Steelers and the Chiefs, Len. This isn't about personalities and individuals and you know, one person versus another person. It's about the Steelers and the Chiefs.
What's the best part and maybe the worst part being the general manager?
You know, the worst part is the same as it is with any job within football and any role. Losing. Len, there's nothing worse than losing. I mean, you know, I've been doing this since I'm 8 years old, either playing or coaching or doing this, and there is nothing worse in this game than losing. The best part is it's easy to say that it's winning, but there's a kind of winning that's better than just winning. It's when you win and you're surrounded by people that you trust, people that you care about, and winning the right way with the right kind of people, with people that you have relationships with. That's the best part of it. There's nothing better when you're bonded with a group of other people and you achieve success. Because all those individual awards, all the things that you can do on your own, I mean, you hide those in a closet somewhere. But like when I watch you get together with your teammates and won that Super Bowl together, I mean, that's you know, I was part of a championship team in high school. I was part of, you know, other championship teams at different times, and there's no better feeling than winning and the camaraderie that comes with that.
If you had a chance, is there anything you do over or again or do differently than you have in the last 4 years?
There's a lot of things I'd do differently. There's a lot of things I'd do differently, and there's a lot of things I'd do better. And that's just more commentary on my personality, I think, than it is anything, because I analyze and overanalyze everything I do. You know, even the things that we've done right, or that I've done right, there's probably some changes I'd make to that. But I don't live them with regrets. You live them as lessons, and you just try to do it better the next time.
Tell me, final question, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Right here in Kansas City.
There is another side you need to hear from if you haven't already, and that is the Save Our Chiefs movement. Their message is clear as the blue Kansas City sky. The banners you see flying high above Arrowhead are one way in which these fans are trying to take their message to the very top.
There's only one guy here that can make a decision as to address why we're upset as fans. There's only one guy, and that guy's Clark.
But it's not Clark Hunt who they want removed. It's the general manager.
When Scott was hired, the executive of the decade, I bit. I totally bit. I was 100%, yeah, let's do this the Patriot way. Let's build a dynasty.
A dynasty is far off.
It's the last 3.5 years under Scott Pioli where we've gone 22-33. We've gone 3-15 against playoff teams.
Aside from banners and YouTube videos, Save Our Chiefs is staging a show of solidarity, a blackout at Arrowhead for the next home game November 18th against Cincinnati. Proceeds from the sales of these black hoodies and T-shirts at Sports Nuts will benefit the Boys and Girls Club of Kansas City.
We love the Chiefs, we support the Chiefs, but I think the fans deserves a, winning team. They're tired, losing all the time.
This movement isn't about not supporting the players. This is about not supporting Scott Pioli, the GM, and the future of this franchise. Because if Pioli's retained next year and everything's status quo, you're going to see a massive disconnect when it comes to season ticket renewals. And people aren't going to renew. They're not going to put good money down for substandard product with substandard leadership.
Hey, there are also some very proud K-State Wildcats on this Chiefs team, and as Karen Kornacki found out, their experience in Manhattan helped transform their lives.